Hi, local guides. Apologies for the late start. We had a few technical issues there. Welcome wherever you are tuning in from around the world. I know over the last few months it's been a particularly difficult time for everyone. So first and foremost, I hope that you, your family, your friends, your communities are healthy and well. I know there are lots of challenges in not being able to go out and not being able to explore. I know that you're all passionate about going out and exploring, but today we're going to turn inwards. We're going to explore our inner landscape. We're going to do a bit of meditation. Before we do though, I just wanted to give a bit of context around it because I feel very often meditation is it has a lot of preconceptions, a lot of misconceptions, and they're not always particularly helpful. So first of all, the very idea that we're going to do some meditation, I think a lot of people think of meditation as an escape, a way of getting away from the rest of the world. I personally feel like it's coming back to ourselves. It's getting in touch with the part of ourselves that daily we're not really aware of. We're so busy, caught up in our busy lives, in our busy minds, that often we're not really aware of what's sort of going on with ourselves. So I think of it more as sort of reconnecting rather than disconnecting. And I also think of it more as in terms of recharging. I think very often in our lives, we go out and it's great that we get inspired by all the different things we see, the people that we meet, but we still need that opportunity to come back to base and to recharge, to feel better. So my hope is that after the exercise today, you'll feel a little calmer in your body and in your mind. And this will be something that you can make kind of part of your daily life. And that's a really important point, because sometimes as well, meditation can be seen as an aspirin, as a quick fix. And yes, it can sometimes give us very short-term benefits, but it's really the long-term benefits that are maybe more interesting, definitely more valuable. That greater sense of calm, of clarity, of contentment, and even giving us enough space in our life so that we can feel a greater sense of empathy and compassion and connection with the people around us. So my hope is, as I say, this will be just the very beginning of a longer journey. Now, before we do the exercise itself, it's also a really big preconception that meditation is about stopping thoughts. So right at the top, it's not about stopping thoughts. Your thoughts may slow down and you may experience periods of no thought, but it doesn't matter. Some days we'll sit down and meditate and there'll be lots of thoughts. The mind will be very busy. Some days we'll sit down and the mind will be very quiet. There'll be less thoughts. Our job is not to try and control the traffic, how many thoughts there are coming and going. Our job is to learn how to step back and to witness the thoughts coming and going. And in doing that, everything starts to slow down. We feel more peaceful. We feel more calm. And we feel like there's a bit more space between ourselves and our thoughts. They don't always feel like we kind of have to buy into each and every one. So you can do this exercise. If you've never done any meditation before, by the way, I'm going to guide you through every part of the exercise. The most important thing is that you can find a space where you're not going to be physically disturbed. I don't mind whether you do this lying down, whether you do it sitting on a chair, sitting cross-legged, whatever's most comfortable, whatever's most relaxing for you. The main thing is to sort of get that balance. We want to be relaxed on the one hand, but focused on the other. So we don't want to be so horizontal that we fall asleep. Well, it's not terrible if we do, but it's not ideal. We want to try and kind of get a bit of a balance. So if you're lying flat on the floor, I suggest that you bend your knees just to take any pressure off your lower back. If you are sat cross-legged on the floor, that's fine as long as you're comfortable doing that. But there's no need to do it cross-legged on the floor. If you're sitting on a chair, I recommend you uncross your hands, or your arms and your legs, and just sit in a sort of an upright but not stiff position. And I'm going to suggest that we begin with our eyes open. So rather than closing the eyes straight away and trying to concentrate a lot very quickly, we're going to start off with a really soft focus. So without moving the eyes around, not looking at one particular thing, but just taking in the colors, the shapes, and the space around you. And maintaining that soft focus, just taking a couple of big, deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So as you breathe in, the sensation we're focusing on is the body, the lungs filling with air. As you breathe out, just noticing how the muscles in the body soften and relax. Just one more time, big breath in through the nose. And as you breathe out this time, just gently closing the eyes. And just taking a moment to pause before we do anything else. So it's such a rare opportunity to stop, to be still, to be quiet. Just enjoying that feeling. And just starting to notice as well the weight of the body pressing down. Might be the soles of the feet on the floor. But just feeling the weight and the contact of the body pressing down. And starting to notice as well how the body actually feels today. Normally we're so caught up in our thoughts that we don't really notice. So just notice if there's just a general sense of heaviness or lightness in the body, of restlessness or stillness. And as you do that, you'll almost inevitably start to become more aware of the breath, the feeling of the breath in the body. So you don't have to breathe in any special way anymore. In and out through the nose is fine. And just notice where in the body you feel that rising and falling sensation. So for some people, it's in the chest and the shoulders. For some people, it's in the diaphragm. For others, it's in the stomach. Doesn't matter where it is. If you can't feel anything, just gently place your hand on your stomach so you can feel that movement. And we're just going to rest our attention on that rising and falling sensation. Now, as we're resting our attention here, thoughts are going to arise in the mind. Know that that's normal, it's natural, it's part of the exercise. We're also going to get distracted at times. Know that that's normal as well. Our only job is to realize when we've been distracted, when we're no longer focusing on that rising and falling sensation. In that moment, to let that thought go and just gently bring the attention back to the breath again. So we'll stay here just for the next minute or so. As I say, if you can't feel anything, just gently place your hand on your stomach. And remember, as you follow the breath, no real effort required. The body knows how to breathe. We're just following the natural rhythm. Knowing it's natural for the mind to wander at any stage. Just acknowledging that wandering and then gently just coming back to that rising and falling sensation. So sometimes if we haven't done a lot of meditation before, it can feel a little strange to not really be doing anything, to not be engaged in anything. The mind can feel sometimes a little restless. We might even find ourselves thinking about the exercise, about the breath. But again, each time we just realize that's thinking and gently come back again to that rising and falling sensation. And then just for the last sort of few seconds here, I'd like you to let go of any focus on the breath. And just for a few seconds, just let the mind do whatever it wants to do. So if it's been wanting to think, now is the time to let it think. Just for the next few seconds, just allowing the mind to be free. And then just gently bringing the attention now back to the body. Just coming back to the space around you. Might be the sounds, the sensations in the body. And in your own time, whenever you're ready, you can just gently open the eyes again. So as you open your eyes, just take a moment. Notice how it feels. Just a few minutes, but even a few minutes can make a really big difference to the way that it feels in our body and in our minds. And prioritizing that on a daily basis is really important. And the more times we can acknowledge how it feels at the end of it, the more likely we are to then come back and do it again. If you're someone who's tried meditation in the past and found it difficult to stick with it, I really recommend, and you can do it any time of day, but I really recommend doing it first thing in the day, making sure that it gets done. I really recommend connecting it, tying it to something that you already do on a regular basis. So maybe every morning you get up and it's shower and meditation. And because shower is already there, you're less likely to forget it if it's connected to that. So just finding that sort of connection and making sure it becomes part of your routine. And then in terms of kind of how it, I guess, sort of flows over into the rest of your life. For me, that's the really kind of interesting part here, that movement from meditation to mindfulness. So how we can be more present, more connected through the rest of the day. Maybe just choosing one activity that you do each day and giving it your full attention in just the same way. You don't have to focus on the breath. Let's say it's something as simple as brushing your teeth. In just the same way, you're present with it. You notice when you get distracted, you bring your attention back to the taste, the smell, the sound, whatever it might be. When we train the mind in that way, both in meditation and in mindfulness, over time, we start to see that showing up in pretty much every part of our life. And look, it's great to feel calmer and clearer by taking some time to sit still with our eyes closed. But for me, the real value of meditation and mindfulness is when it makes it into our everyday life, into our interactions, our relationships with others, so that we actually have time to be still in the mind. We can listen to our own thoughts, but we can listen to others as well. It makes us more curious, more interested, more open. When we go out into our communities, when we go out into our environments, into new places, when we travel, there is an openness and a curiosity that allows us to take everything in. We're no longer caught up in our own inner narrative, our own inner chatter, our inner story. Instead, we put that down. We've let go of it. And it's replaced by an open mind that's able to take everything in and to connect with others in a very different way. So as I say, my hope is that this will become a part of your daily routine. And in the same way that you might look after your body, you will hopefully also look after your mind. Thanks for joining Local Guides and Headspace today. And if you're looking for more information, please do go to headspace.com, and I'll look forward to seeing you sometime soon. Thanks for now.